Hey, people, friends, family, live from Soul Blossom Center. Well, not live, but live, but that's awesome. It's freaking cool. But, yeah, it's been a little while since I made a video and had a certain thought on my mind that has nothing to do with the topic. It is pretty much a tribute to my grandmother, Mary Elizabeth Hedden. Norman. Even though she didn't like Norman, she didn't want to be ever. She wanted ever be called Norman, but that was her other name. She only recognized Hedden. And I just want to tell you my experiences with her, what I learned, which wasn't much, unfortunately, but was very important. And what I didn't learn was I didn't learn her spaghetti sauce. I didn't learn it. It was so freaking good. I really slacked off. I watched her many times, but I never took notes, or I never even tried to make it with her. I should have got that. That was the best sauce ever. And her stew. Her stew was very, very good, and they both aged well throughout the week. She would make it for the week, and it got better and better, thicker and thicker. It was just so freaking good. Damn, I missed that. Dumbass. It is what it is. I did learn important things from her, though, that I would like to share. I'm going to tag some family members that I have, other family members that I don't. Sorry. I hope you see this video through the people that I tagged. There's many family members that I never even met. There's a lot. So I hope you get to see this and give you a little description of my grandmother, our grandmother, mother, aunt, sister, maybe. Is there any? I don't think so. Cousin, great grandmother. She was a very important part of my life. Obviously. Maybe even a tribute to not only her, to my mom and dad, I guess. At least for coming together and making me. Thanks. No. I want to give a tribute to the elders, to the ancestors. At least to my grandmother. Maybe grandfather that I never got to meet. I never got to meet. But first thing, my grandmother took my brother, myself, and my mom in to her house, her apartment. Not exactly sure. I'm sure Ray has more details of why. It seemed, I guess, very unstable. Jumping from place to place. My mom was kind of sketchy, if you want to say that. Caught in addictions, which I know all about. So it is what it is. My grandmother took us in, and she didn't have to. I mean, she already did her job. She raised her kids. They're out and about. Now go away. You know, I can appreciate that. So her for to take us in when, I mean, it was the right thing to do. But that's a load. That's a load. And at least I could speak for myself. I wasn't the greatest of a grandchild. You know, she said she was proud of me many times. There was a lot of times I let her down. I was not a good person. Um, so if she didn't take us in, I don't know where Ray and myself would be. That's first and foremost. What I learned, which, like I said, it wasn't a lot. I didn't learn a lot, but I learned very important things. Still important to this day. She taught me you treat everybody the same. As you would want to be treated, obviously, but everybody equally. Everybody. Every race. There was a time where my grandmother took me to her work. You know, it was like one of those things, bringing, a kid into work day, And I went to her work, Star Stainless Screw Company in Totowa, New Jersey. And she showed me around. It was a big place, big warehouse, very big. A lot of employees, a lot of people worked there. Well, it was big to me as a little kid. But there was a lot of people. And there was a couple things I noticed. When she said that to me, she lived it. Didn't matter whether you were black, white, Asian, Muslim. Latin, Latino, Latinas. It didn't matter. She treated everybody with respect. And I saw that. I went to her, she was showing me around all her, her co-workers, and they loved her. They really loved her, and I saw that. I saw that as a young child, young kid. I saw that. And she was cool with everybody. That was very important. Because where I grew up with my grandmother, it was a white neighborhood. Suburbia, Jersey. White neighborhood. Okay? And she wouldn't have that. She wouldn't have... I mean, my uncle got away with a lot with what he said, but there was no way I was going to get away with that. She drilled that in my head. And that's very, very important, especially now, unfortunately. Especially now. With the world the way it is. We can't get over that we're just human. We can't get over that. There's separation. We bicker with each other over dumb shit. So the people running the world can go to the bank, just like George Carlin said. We fight amongst ourselves over dumb shit. While the people really running the world, really causing the problems, go to the bank. I didn't realize where I lived. I mean, my few friends that I was close with, their parents, they were not racist people. I never heard it, at least. And my friends to this day, Marty, Ross, Kevin Hoyer, even Erica, wherever she was at, they weren't raised that way, and I didn't get any of that kind of energy, that kind of feedback from their parents. So, but I go to my hometown years later, maybe like a few months ago, maybe sometime last year, with my girlfriend, my love, that's half Puerto Rican, and this guy that I went to school with, he was like a grade or two lower than me. A guy that never left the neighborhood. I didn't realize, I talked to him for a little bit, and like once you're out of your element, your so-called home. I mean, I don't even consider Jersey home anymore. It's not. I don't miss it at all either. I was born and raised in Jersey. Don't miss it one second. It's not like I hate it, but I moved on. I just not attached. But yeah, he was saying some really like racist comments. Mexican this and nigga this. I never see, once you're away from a certain vibration, a certain thinking, a certain way of life, a certain way of being. Once you're away from that, and where I'm at now is totally opposite. Everybody is welcome. Our county, where I live, everybody is welcome. You might hear some small minority of people that have that way of life, that way of thinking, old thinking. The racism. But for the most part, it's not like that here. Just talking to him for like 3 to 5 minutes, I was like, whoa. All right, bud. Nice to see you. We're out of here. We're out of here. Wow. I didn't know. I didn't realize. I didn't realize that I was like surrounded. I'm not sure if I was surrounded, but I don't know, 19 years, 20 years in that neighborhood I lived. No. What? Like pretty much anywhere in Jersey. Jersey is not like the most liberal type of place. Especially in the woods, or suburbia. At least not where I stayed. And now actually that was like more like 30 something years. So I'm like, okay. Wow. Didn't notice. I can't believe I never caught that. I never applied that to me. Because, I never, why? It's because of my grandmother. She wouldn't have that. She would not have that. My Uncle Bill, she let him slide for reasons that I'm going to touch on. But she would not, as soon as he said something messed up, and he was a racist, but he surrounded himself around like-minded people too. I'm not gonna diss my Uncle Bill. He was a funny freaking guy. That guy was freaking funny. Some racist stuff, but he had some stories that were just funny. And his heart was huge. Huge. He bent over backwards for people. And he got nothing but screwed. These are by his so-called friends. My grandmother and myself, we noticed this. We're like, why are you hanging out with these people? He just wanted to be liked. He was a good freaking guy. His heart was so big. It was amazing. The shit he would do for people. And he got screwed so many times by these so-called friends. They were assholes. I think one of his only friends was a true friend. But there might have been like maybe less than a handful. I remember that guy Art. He was a true friend. But there were some real fucking dickheads that treated him. Wow. And my grandmother couldn't believe it. She's like, why are you hanging out with these people? Anyway, every time he said like something racist, she would yell at him. She yelled at him a lot. She would yell at him and look at me. She's like, no, you don't think that way. You don't say that. You don't ever let me hear saying what he just said. All right? She made that very clear. So for me to be where I'm at today is because of her. All right? Mentally. The non-racist thing. Okay. Get the Bills thinking and the reason why. I'm not going to use that as an excuse. There's no excuse for racism. That's just taught. That's just bullshit. That's bullshit. But I could see his reasoning. Not it's right. It's not right. But I understand now. Okay. My grandmother's parents were killed. She would get these letters in the mail every, I don't know, maybe like twice, 2 or 3 times a year or something. I don't know. And she would fill out these papers, and she was open about it. She told me about it. She's like, yeah, my parents were killed, and I'm going to make sure this so-and-so stays in jail. So she signed something, and she had resentments. Justified resentments. But I don't know what the procedure was, but she's like, nah, this guy's staying behind bars. Screw him. I get it. Justified. Totally. Can't imagine what that feels like. Okay. Now, she told me that it was a white guy that killed her parents. And that was like her biggest thing. She's like, yeah, a white guy killed my parents. So it doesn't matter what color. It doesn't matter what color. A scumbag is a scumbag. It doesn't matter what color. Okay? You remember that. She told me that. I'm like, okay. Okay. Now, years later, after she dies, I hear another story. Whether it's true, I don't know. I heard another story. I heard another story that it was an African American person, a black guy, that killed her parents. Now, if that is true, which I don't know, I'm just assuming because this is a reliable family member. I don't think he would lie. Why lie? But even if it's true or whatever, my uncle's thinking is very understandable of why he is the way he was. Why he was the way he was. I'm like, okay, I get it now. I get it. It's not an excuse. It's not an excuse, but he had heavy, heavy resentments. And I get it. I get it. That hurt. His grandparents were killed. I get it. Then you surround yourself with like-minded people. They feed you some more bullshit. So you could stay stuck in a certain way. Not like a white guy couldn't be a jerk off. No. There's plenty. I mean, look at the government. Plenty of jerk offs. But if that is true, then that would mean my grandmother lied to me. And why would she lie? Well, she lied so I wouldn't follow that same path, that same thinking. That's why she lied. And I think that's pretty amazing. At least that's how I take it. That's how I take it. That's how I see it. That's how I see it. So I wouldn't follow my uncle's path in that thinking. Even though I have my free will, I can choose whatever I would choose. But she did that to protect me. That's huge. That's big. That's awesome. That's awesome. So she saved me from going down a certain path. That's the first time she did that. She saved me from going down a certain path. Like a major path. There was other times, I'm sure, that she saved me. But that was big. That's a big deal. What an awesome thing was this. That was awesome. I can really appreciate that. So if it wasn't for her, I might have gone down a different path. Mentally. Now, there was another time. I'm in high school, actually just about to graduate or just barely graduated high school. And I wanted to join an armed forces. I wanted to be a SEAL, a Navy SEAL, or a Marine. And the Marines laughed at me. They wouldn't even let me try because I have asthma. They wouldn't even let me try. Just let me try and fail. That's fine. I could handle that. But not let me try, go fuck yourself. Scumbags. Fuck them. That gave me some resentments. But I tried Navy. And they let me, they're like, okay, you have to pass this certain test. I took the pre-test, I failed. I studied, I passed the pre-test, then I was about to take the real test. And then you go on for physical training and start training. You pass a physical, then you start doing the training, and then you're in. And I told my grandma about this. She's like, "Oh yeah, all right. Let me go down there. Let me see what this is about." She said she wanted to make sure this is real or something like that. I don't know. I don't exactly remember her words, but I remember going down there with her. It was right in town. It was right down the road from where we lived. And we went in there. She's like, "Oh yeah, I heard you. My grandson here. I don't know what she said. I don't know. I forget. But they told her. I guess maybe because of the concern that she had, the certain energy that she was presenting. She's like, oh yeah? You know, someone cared about her. Someone cared about him, me. And they lied to her. They lied. They said, no, we didn't say he can join. He can't join. They lied. I was like, but I just passed the test. No. You can't join here. Really? And I was kind of pissed off about that. I was kind of pissed off actually about my grandmother about that. I was very annoyed because I thought she made that happen. I think she did, but I see what I see now. And I think at that time it was Afghanistan, maybe. There's always a war going on. It's all bullshit. Sorry, it's all bullshit. From being in sobriety, from learning about me, from waking up, at least opening my eyes to see what is going on in the world, especially with our government. I think the last time that the United States really had a major crisis when our freedoms were on the line. When was that? I don't know. World War II? World War I? All the other ones are bullshit. Sorry. Money, drugs, oil. Bullshit. Oh, I hear the alarm. Hey, hon. Time for dinner. Okay, one sec, hon. It's time for dinner. Ding, ding, ding. We got like a little bell outside. So, after all that, doing the work on myself, having resentments, the army came after me. They wanted me. I was like, fuck you. I'm not being in the army. Go fuck yourself. You know who I am? I'm not gonna be in the army. Any freaking idiot could be in the army. Go fuck off. And then I really took off in my addictions. I had like major resentments. But it was like, my grandmother, saved my life again. I don't know. I wish I had like some real deep conversations with her, like now, of what she was thinking, because she wasn't stupid. She knew what the hell was going on. That's at least that I take it. That's how I see it today. She saved my life by like interfering with me going into the army, or no, not the army, because I already had resentment to it, and into the service to possibly kill another person, or many other persons, or get myself killed because some fucking assholes want some fucking money and oil. That's what it's about. That's what it's been about for many years. And I appreciate the people who served because they thought they were doing the right thing. I might get backlash from this. I might. I appreciate it. But it hasn't been real in a long time. And my grandmother saved me from doing that. Because she saw it. That's what I think. That's how I see it. She saved me. And now I can see. I can see clearly. I see clearly how much bullshit it is. But this is not a rant about that. This is about my grandmother and how much she did some amazing shit. She'd do some funny stuff. I remember going through the mall, right? Going through the mall, Willowbrook Mall. And we were walking through, right? It was like a little simple thing. A little simple thing. It was so freaking funny. You know how when you're walking and somebody else is coming, towards you, and you try to, sometimes when you move, they move at the same time, try to get out of the way, and we keep on going the same way. That happened like 2 or 3 times, and my grandma was like, shall we dance? Shall we dance? And that person just and just walked on. Didn't laugh. I was sitting there dying. That was great. That was so freaking awesome. The simple little things. So I just wanted to, those major things that I learned from. Oh, and of course, cigarettes. She says, if you don't start, you'll never have to stop. And if you ask any smoker out there, if they want to stop, they want to, but they can't. At that time, at least. If you don't start, you'll never have to stop. So I got very little, but they were huge in my life. And I miss her, and I don't know where I would be without her. I want to thank you, Grandma. I pray to her. I feel her. I believe the body dies, and the spirit moves on. Evolution. Maybe she reincarnated somewhere. Or maybe she's just chilling. Because time is nothing up there. Time is down here. So my mom, I didn't really get to know you that well. And my dad, you weren't even there. But I respect you both. I prayed on it. I let go of resentments. I hope you both are doing well. Wherever you are, Dad. Maybe my mom reincarnated. Maybe she's up in the spirit world getting help, learning.